So turning to the 2023 Belmont Stakes. Angel of Empire made a big jump in February, and with his races nicely spaced, has stayed at that level since then. With 5 weeks rest into this, there's no reason for him to run worse now, and he could run better. This is clearly the most solid horse in this year's Belmont. Archangelo has jumped forward in every start, and a repeat of his last would give him a big shot here. The problem is that with each new top, a bounce becomes more likely. Way more 3-year-olds can handle a 5 without bouncing than can handle a 1. Violence gets precocious runners, and Forte is a good example. He ran big going 5 furlongs as a May 2-year-old, improved later in the year, but hasn't run any faster this year. We didn't like the lack of development and the backward move in the Florida Derby, so we were against him going into Kentucky. And we really haven't seen any reason to change our mind, especially going 1.5 miles and coming off physical issues. Hit Show got good late last year, and after the big one in February, we really liked him. But healthy 3-year-olds should run their top or better at least every other start, and we don't love this one's last 2. It's now or never if this one will be a top 3-year-old, but he's much more likely to get a piece of this than win. Il Miracolo. Indeed. Well, let's just say it would be a miracle if this one made it into the Superfecta. If you want to see what a 2-year-old pattern should look like, look at National Treasure, and he was fast too. Problem is, he hasn't got back to that top in 3 starts this year, and only won the Preakness by saving ground. Blazing Sevens and Mage both earned better figures. Baffert has a history of getting big effort shipping to New York, and this one could well save ground on an easy lead again. So National Treasure probably will get a piece of this, but we don't love him to win at a relatively short price. Red Route 1 hasn't been able to get back to his February top in 3 tries, and even if he does now, won't do him much good against these. Tapit Shoes has yet to go back. Every figure has been as good or better than the ones before it. Unlike Archangelo, this one has been making small forward moves and could be ready for another one. But he's not that fast and has already developed 5 points from his 2-year-old top. So the big jump he needs is unlikely. Tapit Trice inched forward until he jumped to a big one in the Bluegrass, then bounced in the Derby. This guy's pattern is extremely similar to that of Nest, who snapped right back to her top in this race last year. Tapit Trice only has 1 figure good enough to win, so we wouldn't love him at a short price. But there is a good chance he'll run back to it, and if he does, it would give him a very good chance to win. The right approach to this year's Belmont is to play Forte not just not to win, but not to run well. He'll be on a lot of exotic tickets, and that adds value to the combinations without him. We're also willing to play Archangelo to bounce, though we would use him at 8-1 over Forte at 5-2. At least Archangelo already has a figure that can win. So the right way to go in the Belmont is to play exotics using Angel of Empire, National Treasure, Tapit Trice, and to a lesser degree, Hit Show.